Hello, thank you so much for watching. Welcome to this lunar eclipse tarot card reading. You may be seeing this video when you need to hear this message. If this reading does not resonate with your situation, then it's not for you, and feel free to check out my other readings or another tarot channel. Please beware of scammers. I will never reach out to you unless you sign up to receive my e-newsletter. Visit my website, the link is in the description, for more information about my e-newsletter as well as private readings. And let's go ahead and get started. We have 3 groups today. Group number 1 is represented by the clear quartz. This says, I am a radiant being filled with all frequencies of light, healing, enhancing, amplification, purification, stone of power, all of the chakras, and the zodiac signs of Leo, Gemini, and Capricorn. So if you have Leo, Gemini, and Capricorn as your sun, moon, rising, or Venus, or even Mars, you can check out this reading. It may resonate with you. And then that would be in your birth chart. Group number 2, we have Lapis Lazuli. It says, I see clearly and speak with confidence, communication, intuition, and inner power, the throat and third eye chakra, and the zodiac signs of Sagittarius and Libra. So again, if you have Sagittarius or Libra in your moon, sun, rising, or Venus, and you can even, some people even use Mars, then this may be your reading. And last, we have Rutile Quartz. And this one says, I easily and clearly visualize what I wish to manifest. It amplifies energy. It's a psychic antenna, and you can use it for manifestation. It represents all of the chakras and the zodiac signs of Leo, Taurus, and Gemini. So again, if you have any of those in your major top placements, sun, moon, rising, Venus, and some people do Mars as well, this may be your reading. And from here, check the link in the description for the timestamps, and we'll see you soon. Hello, group number 1. You selected the clear quartz. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay. Benevolent ministering beings of the light, as well as benevolent ministering beings of group number 1, for their highest and greatest good, please. What do they need to know about events associated with the lunar eclipse of September 2025 for their highest and greatest good, please? Okay, top of the deck, what's highlighted? Knight of Pentacles. Bottom of the deck, what is hidden? 4 of Cups. Cut the deck, what to accept. Group number 1. What does group number 1 need to accept? 8 of Cups. Okay. Let's get our clarifiers and then we'll get started. Benevolent ministering beings of the light, please assist me with selecting the tarot cards to represent group number 1. What do they need to know at this time about the lunar eclipse of September 2025 and how it affects their life? Their lives. Okay, let's see here. All right, please clarify what is highlighted for group number 1. Okay, we have the Death card. It did fly out and land in the reverse with the High Priestess in the reverse. So let's just leave that right there for now. But what is hidden for group number 1? What's been hidden? Something that is hidden and may continue to be hidden until today. The Chariot card. And what does group number 1 need to accept? Okay, 9 of Wands. And then we have 2 of Cups. Okay, let's get started. So for group number 1, what's being highlighted right now is definitely your long-term growth and your stability, the progress that you have made. It does seem like you are on a lucrative path in life. Whatever it is that you're doing in your life at this time is lucrative. There is potential for you to make money and have some long-term growth and stability and financial stability, and to be able to, build a nest egg or buy that house, the dream house, and all those things, right? So, however, it does look like there is something, an ending that is needed to happen for a very long time, and somebody has not been following their intuition in some kind of way. So here, the Death card and the High Priestess. So finally, though, what is being highlighted is your intuition and your psychic abilities and your knowing. There's just too many things in your life that have been happening that make you understand that you really do have psychic abilities and that you are a very psychic person. So I'm talking to somebody who themselves has psychic abilities. And you may also conduct readings for people. But this is definitely something that you were ignoring before. But what's come into the light is that your knowing in your own self is too strong. You just have too much self-awareness, and your psychic awareness and your awareness of yourself is just unwavering. And so this ending does need to happen, and it causes you to realize that you do need to end something finally, once and for all. Let me just see if I get any additional messages. And it's going to be different for everybody, whatever the thing is. It could be, I'm actually seeing for a group of you, this is going to be a job. It's going to be connected to, like, for some of you, you've been working really hard and you've been doing 2 jobs. And you're going to realize that one of them is making you more money than the other one. And you're going to realize, and you've known this for a long time, you've known this is something that you've wanted to do anyways for a long time. That's why you've been doing both, is because you want to continue to, build up this thing that you want to do, but also the thing that you've been doing has made you money, and it's kept you stable. But now that just based on everything that's happening and things going on in your life, you could even be receiving, for some of you, if you're not psychics, you're receiving psychic guidance, intuitive messages, possibly even like divine insights and signs, like weird things happening, trying to guide you and push you in a certain direction. And you know that this end has been coming, but it does look like it's finally arriving in some kind of way. So next up we have here, what's hidden? So the 4 of Cups and the Chariot card. The 4 of Cups can represent depression. It can also represent a feeling of being ungrateful, which is interesting, because sometimes when we get depressed or low energy, low in ourselves, just feeling like pity party. Sometimes when bad things start happening, we can start to have a pity party. And then we can start feeding on our own sorrow and pity. And when opportunities present themselves, we're just so down in the dumps that we don't even want to take them. We don't even want to claim them, even though they're there for us. Like if you see this train is coming, the train is coming and this person's still in bed, they're missing out on their opportunity of travel. And so, and then we have the Chariot card. It's like, get on the train. That's what's being hidden, is advice to move. It's advising you to move forward, to continue to move forward in a balanced way, to maintain your balance and your stability, and not to go overboard in any one particular thing, like if for some of you who are doing two jobs, you're going to realize, that you have to let go of one of them, and you may be tempted just to continue to stay in the energy of what's stable and comfortable. But what happens is you're going to be pushed on a path that you're really not supposed to be on, and it's going to cause you to be depressed and uncomfortable and just feeling like you're out of your element. And so you're being encouraged, and a path for you it's there, even though it's hidden at this time. There is a path forward. You just have to get on the train. You just got to get up out of bed and get on the train and claim it. Basically, is something that keeps coming through. Claim it. So, and what you need to accept, group number 1, 8 of Cups and the 9 of Wands. 8 of Cups is moving on. It's moving on from a situation, something that you were very emotionally invested in. For those of you who, if it was a career path that you were previously on, and then let's say some of you might be starting your own business or doing something. Others of you, it's just you've been working 2 jobs and you decide you want to work for the other company and full-time, and you want to switch. You might have been like full-time at one place and part-time in another place, and you decide, I want to go full-time with the place where I was going part-time, that type of thing. It's like some kind of a switch in where you're working. And for some of you, others, it could be a relationship or something connected to your finances. It could also be property or living situation. Like I said, it's going to be different for everyone. Please feel free to check my available appointments if you'd like to clarify this for you. Anyways, so moving on here, but 8 of Cups is moving on. And 9 of Wands, difficulties. 9 of Wands is an energy of battles won. It's kind of having to fight and having to defend yourself and having to do all of these things, and you're still standing. You're still there, you're still standing, and you have a lot of victories under your belt. You have a lot of successes, and some people may have tried to knock you down in the past and for some of you, some people try to belittle you. For others of you, there were just like psychic attacks or just attacks on your character. And a lot of this, sometimes it didn't even happen to your face. It was kind of just in the background and the people around you or things like that. But you're still standing, you're still progressing, you're still moving forward. But it's also, you're tired, you're tired. And it's really being done with the struggle. And so that's another thing that I'm seeing here. So for some of you, that struggle is represented by having to work so many hours in a day and in a week. For those of you who are working 2 jobs or doing 2 businesses or something like that, having to work so many hours and just balance and manage so much in your life that it's just been really hard. You're very tired. You do get recognition for all the things that you do and all the things you have going on and your successes and everything, but it's like it's getting to the point where it's almost too much. You're okay, but if you take on one more wand, it's going to be your breaking point. And we do have here 2 of Cups at the bottom of the deck. So yes, for many of you, this is related to a romantic relationship. For many of you, this is also connected to, so for other groups of you, this is also connected to a partnership of friends. It can sometimes represent a friendship agreement where 2 people come together emotionally in something that they both are emotionally invested in and that they want to work together to work on together. And so this is what it's connected to overall. So okay, but yeah, check my available appointments if you would like to hone in on your unique situation. Okay, benevolent ministering beings of group number 1, what do they need to know about the lunar eclipse of September 2025 and how it's affecting their lives? For their highest and greatest good, please. One more. Okay, group number 1. Please clarify what's being highlighted for them. What do we need to know to wrap this up? Okay, what does group number 1 need to know? Okay, 3 cards here. The tribe, flexible, and to the sea. Okay. What is hidden for group number 1? What do they need to know? Ooh, that one kind of wanted to come out. Peace in reverse. Okay, what do they need to know though? Group number 1. What is group number 1 about what's hidden? The never-ending story. And what do they need to accept? Those ones kind of want to come out. Let's see. What do they need to accept? What does group number 1 need to accept? That one is serendipity in reverse. Okay. Come to the edge and to be fair. And a message in a bottle in reverse. Okay. So this could be about a message that you are going to receive. And it's almost like a soul calling. For some of you, this partnership that you've wanted to enter into with someone is like they've sent out a message. They've sent out a soul, like feelers or like a soul call. And you haven't received that message yet, but it is about coming together with this person. And it's kind of like finding your people, finding your tribe, finding your person, finding your calling, but receiving the message that you're meant to receive. So with it being in the reverse, this hasn't happened yet. You haven't received it. You were meant to receive it and it was blocked in some way, or you haven't received it just yet, but it will be coming through. And so here we have, let me get some water. All right. So what's highlighted is the tribe. You do have people you can count on. You have people you work with. And that's going to be one of the things for those of you where this is connected to a job. And some of you where it's connected to a job, it's like working so many hours has affected your partnership. And so they're saying toning it down. But your tribe, finding your tribe, knowing your tribe, recognizing and identifying your tribe is number 8, the key to wealth, stability, reciprocity. There are just some groups of people that, you know, it's okay if you don't jive with each other. It's okay. You know, that means you're just not meant to be in each other's circle. And it has to do with all sorts of different things. Political beliefs, just all kinds of personal beliefs and all that stuff. So, and that's perfectly fine. There are so many different people in the world. So we have here flexible, remaining flexible. Something that's highlighted is your need to remain flexible. So in everything that's been going on with all this stuff, one thing that you've known is that you can't control everything and every outcome, no matter how hard you try. And for some of you, where this is a relationship, you've had to be very flexible. You've had to be very flexible. You've had to go with the flow. And if it's a work situation, same thing. It's about, you know, you have a plan for your job, and then sometimes things don't go well, they fall through, you have to fix it, there's mistakes, whatever the case may be. And so flexibility is key. Some of you with your job having a flexible schedule, you want to move to something, you're choosing the job that has a more flexible schedule, or that's a big thing, is you want a more flexible schedule. And it has to do with, it's funny, one aspect of this flexibility is that you yourself have had to maintain flexibility for other people, and now you would like to claim flexibility for yourself, if that makes sense. It's like you've had to be on call. For some of you all, you've had to be on call in your job, or you've had to have like shift work where it's like 1 week you work Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays, and the next week you only work, you have to work different times a day. Like you'll be working the morning shift, and then the next week you work the night shift. And so it's like, it makes it really, really hard to plan anything. Like you can't plan any kind of holidays or vacations, things like that. It makes it very difficult. So for some of you, that's been the situation. And so you want flexibility for yourself, for your own life. And then we have to the sea. And so that, yes, this does require some sort of voyage, adventure. That's what's being highlighted. And it has to do with this either hopping on the train or jumping on a boat or doing something to move forward in your life in a balanced way, and in where you have control over the situation. And the Emperor is in the seat of the Chariot. This is not a traditional Chariot deck, but like right now, the way it is, these two horses they've got their ropes on them, but they're not connected to the Chariot. They're just kind of like running around and getting all tangled up in the ropes. And it's like someone needs to come in and harness them and get this Chariot going forward. So, but it does require a risk and a bit of going off into the unknown. And that's something that's being highlighted for you right now. You have become very aware that it's time for you to just venture off into the unknown, to take a leap of faith or take a journey that you're just not sure about in some way. And when I say journey, it may not be actual travel. It's just life's journey for you. But know that you are being divinely guided. You are being watched over. There are divine forces that want to help humanity, humans and humanity. And those people who are willing to receive assistance will receive it. There's some people that don't want the help. They don't believe in it. They don't want it. And that's fine. That's perfectly fine. People, that's one of the beauties of life on earth, is we have the ability to have free will and to believe what we want to believe. And so, okay. But help is available. So, and even in the tangible form, for some of you who are more tangible and you're not so certain about divine forces, there are people in your life, as indicated by the tribe card. There are people in your life that are willing to help you and to help see you through a situation. Okay, and next we have here, what is hidden? We have a never-ending story. And so this to me is going around in circles. And it goes back to this Nine of Wands card, having to endure a lot, having to be very flexible, and all of those things that I talked about previously. And it's like, and you're realizing it's nonstop. So, okay, this is what's going to happen. So for some of you in this group, if you don't end or close out this situation, things will not change. Your life will not change. Things are just going to get, you're just going to be like, ugh, look at her. She's exhausted. Things aren't changing. Things aren't progressing. Things aren't moving forward. They're not getting any better. if it's a work situation, your coworkers are still screwing up and you have to fix things for them at the one job that you're working. For others of you, if it's a relationship situation, you know, things aren't progressing. It's just a never-ending story. It's a never-ending cycle. Never-ending cycle. And so that's what's hidden. That's what's hidden. And I feel if you don't close out the cycle, if this ending doesn't happen, then it's going to kind of be more of the same. As I was looking at this card, I did see, for some of you, this is a very select few, this could all be triggered, like all of this realization and having to realize you have to let something go. As I mentioned in the beginning, it was selling property. It could have to do with the death of a family member. Could have to do with the death of a family member, or a lot of your decisions in life had been based on a family member's mortality, as far as they were ill and you weren't sure if you could do anything or make any changes in your life, or let go of certain things because you had to wait and see what was going to happen with this person. So that's for a very select few. Okay. And then we have here what to accept. So you got to be fair and come to the edge. So speaking about this Nine of Wands here, this wasn't fair. It wasn't fair. It wasn't just. Something that you were going through when, like, in this path to your abundance and everything that you've been working on, something that you've been going through has not been fair. For some of you, you're taking on too much responsibility at work. For some of you, you're receiving criticism. Undue criticism is what they're saying. Undue criticism. And it hasn't been fair. It has not been fair whatsoever. But, you know, you're taking it like a champ. You're a very strong person. You're a fighter too. And so, you know, you've managed to stay afloat despite everything, is what they're saying. But they are telling you that they know that what you've gone through is not fair. It's not fair to you. And you don't deserve it. When something's not fair, it's because it means you don't deserve that to happen to you. And then we have here, come to the edge. This is taking that risk. Taking the risk, and it's scary. It is scary to take the risk, but somebody is asking you to take the risk and to venture off into the unknown, to take a leap of faith. Okay, that looks like everything. Thank you all so much for watching, and have a blessed day. Hello, group number 2. You've selected Lapis Lazuli. This card says, I see clearly and speak with confidence. Represents communication, intuition, and inner power. Throat and third eye chakras, and the zodiac signs of Sagittarius and Libra. So you may have those as placements, prominent placements in your birth chart. Let's go ahead and get started. I have shuffled the decks to your energy, but I'm going to shuffle once more. Benevolent ministering beings of group number 2, for their highest and greatest good, please. How has the lunar eclipse of September 2025 affected their lives? What do they need to know about how the lunar eclipse of September 2025 will affect their lives for their highest and greatest good, please? Okay. Top of the deck, what's highlighted? 4 of Cups. Bottom of the deck, what's hidden? The Hierophant. And what does group number 2 need to accept in their lives? 7 of Wands. And let's see here. I'm going to pull some clarifiers and then we'll get started. All right, benevolent ministering beings of group number 2. What do they need to know about the lunar eclipse of September 2025 and how has it affected their lives? For their highest and greatest good, please. Okay, please clarify what is highlighted for group number 2. What's being highlighted for group number 2? This one kind of wanted to come out. 2 of Wands, planning, purpose. What's highlighted? Okay, awakening. It kind of fell out sort of sideways. So an awakening. Someone needs to have an awakening. Someone needs to seriously have awakening. Like they've been sleeping too much, literally. You've been sleeping too much. You need to wake up. Okay. What's been hidden for group number 2? Something that's been hidden for group number 2. Queen of Cups here with the Hierophant. And what does group number 2 need to accept, please? What does group number 2 need to accept for their highest and greatest good, please? Okay. 5 of Pentacles. Somebody's spirit guide is saying the struggle is too real. The Empress card. The struggle is too real. Okay. All right. So yes, what I'm seeing for some of you is that, or for those of you who picked this group, there is something you've been sleeping on, something that you have not been doing, something you've been guided to do. Guidance is trying to come to you. You have so much potential. Someone in your life has been trying to cause an awakening for you. You need to wake up in some kind of way. So, and this energy that you've been in has caused you to feel like low energy, depressed. And this could be, it can be hard to get out of that energy. It can be a cycle that needs, but it is a cycle that needs to be broken. And it's possible for it to happen. If you struggle with depression, there are ways to manage depression and to help revitalize yourself and get out of that energy. I know it's very hard, but luckily we have science and technology and all sorts of resources nowadays, all the way from therapists, medications, herbs, different sorts of behavioral therapies, changing your behaviors and patterns. So many of you would benefit from doing something like this. Let's see here. But the awakening needs to happen. That's what they're saying. The awakening needs to happen. For some of you, this is psychic. For some of you, you're aware you have psychic gifts, or you've been starting to become aware. But you've been ignoring it out of possibly fear, or just not wanting to deal with it, not wanting to see it as part of your path or life purpose. For many people, their psychic gifts and abilities, the psychic sense is like any other sense. It's a sense of smell, taste, sight, hearing. Some people have a stronger sense than others. And it's like, being blind. So many people are blind, like their psychic abilities are blind. And sometimes certain things trigger psychic abilities and people come online. And something's been trying to happen for you in that respect. For others of you, and we didn't get a whole lot of cards actually. So for this group, there weren't a lot of cards that came out because I feel like the guides that came forward for this group really just want you to focus on one simple thing, is what I'm getting. One simple thing. Waking up, getting out of being asleep. And for some of you, oh yes, that's right. That's what I was also thinking. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you for reminding me. For some of you, this could also be connected to political affiliation. It could be connected to belief systems. Somebody's saying disjointed structures. So for some of you, it's also societal with the Hierophant here. What's hidden. So for some of you, this is connected to the church, like religious authorities, like the Catholic Church, like the whole Catholic Church as a whole, or other whole entire church structures as a whole. For others of you, this is connected to systems of government. Or for others of you, you could work in a job that's affected by these systems of government, that's influenced by Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security, government grants, government funding. Hang on, there's something else. I got another impression. And when I say that, I mean like you're a grocery store who has a large population of people that use food stamps, and food stamp benefits are down, and so therefore your grocery sales are down. I mean, it can be all sorts of things connected to structures, societal structures. And oh, another one I saw, for some of you, you work in the education system, and your community, wherever you live, you know, like the whole school system, either for that region, for the system for the region that you're in, or statewide for wherever you are, if you live in the United States, or some other countries have that type of structure as well. It's being shaken in some kind of way. And your role, what's being hidden is that you have a role to play in this structure somehow. So however this is affecting you. So for some of you, you're actually going to use this awakening that you have once you finally have the awakening, once you finally allow yourself. For those of you that came upon this group, and if this is resonating with you, get yourself a Lapis Lazuli crystal or a piece of jewelry or something and wear it, and it will help you through this transition and with your awakening, as it is indicating here, intuition and inner power. Growing and knowing, Spirit's saying, growing and knowing. Somebody has a really funny spirit guide. Okay, but you, with your awakening, your psychic abilities, and the people in this group are sensitive people, okay? You guys who have come across this group, if this group is resonating with you, you're very sensitive people, you're very empathic people, you're intuitive people, you're artistic people. You feel for others, you feel very deeply for others, and that can also have to do with why you can get depressed with things in the world and different societal structures when they start to fail or fall, or you see people suffering. It can make you feel like you want to give up. This message is for you not to give up. Because you are going to become, and you may not all be queens, but this is a very nurturing, receptive, intuitive, caring energy. So that's what they're trying to get you to harness and become, is someone who is receptive to insights, divine awareness, knowing, and that could also, for mundane purposes, that can be new ideas, new concepts, somebody's saying new agreements. So that can be for those of you that have control over this type of thing, like if it's within a private sector, that some government agencies are affecting your private sector work. Society is somehow affecting private sector work, or if you have some sort of control over policies, how you handle things with this is you have control over it, and you have the ability to receive the divine knowledge, insights, as well as just be open to ideas and information that you can use to, I don't want to say enforce, but that's the word that's coming to mind. Enforce. Oh, for some of you, it's enforcing the public opinion in some way. Some of you could be in politics. Some of you could work in law. Some of you could work in the media. And so it is about of enforcing the public opinion in some way, which is really interesting. Okay, and then we have here what you need to just finally come to accept. We have the 7 of Wands and 5 of Pentacles. This is crashing and burning and poverty. And so basically what you need to accept is if you don't wake up, you run the risk of financial failure, lack, homelessness for some of you. For others of you, it's having to accept benefits, social recovery is what Spirit is wanting to say in some kind of way, social recovery. For some of you, that may make sense. But this card in the traditional tarot deck is representative of people in, let's say, medieval times that would go to the church to receive assistance of food, and needing help and needing assistance and feeling like an outcast because of your situation. So, but the 7 of Wands, as you can see, this person has a great amount of spiritual power and force. And if you don't use it constructively, it's going to destroy you, basically. I know it's a bit harsh. Sorry. Sorry about that. But for some of you, that will mean something. For some of you, that will mean something. It's kind of like I'm seeing for some of you, this is for a select group. For some of you, your psychic abilities and your intuitive knowing and the things that you see, it's like you almost feel crazy because it's so vivid for some of you. And if you don't use those abilities, it's not that, spirits are going to drive you mad, but I mean, kind of in a way, yes, because it's not going to stop. It's not going to go away. And so you're just constantly going to be dealing with spirits, popping in and talking to you or having visions of things. And it's like, it's going to be disruptive, and it's somebody saying toxic. So it's best to use that awareness, is what they're saying. It's best to use that awareness to your knowledge to help others, is what they're saying. Because you have been given a gift and an ability, and so you do need to use it to help others. And with the Empress card here, this is the ultimate financial stability, abundance, opulence, even rewards, rewarded are some words that are coming through. We have here, she's very fertile. She's very fertile, very creative. She's all the queens rolled into one. So she has all of the things, all of the abilities, and very well known. Somebody's saying very well known. So for some of you, by stepping into this role, as the Queen of Cups. Because for some of you, this is going to be a new job that you'll be taking on by accepting this, by having this awakening and realizing you have a calling and stepping into that calling. And for some of you, it's working in a certain field. Like I'm seeing a school system for people. I'm seeing a legal system for some people. I'm seeing different things like that. And so it's going to bring you a lot of abundance. It's going to bring you a lot of abundance. You're going to be, I'm saying somebody's saying a superior. So not that you're superior over, you know, other people and you're so great, but not like in an egotistical way, but like as an actual, like an authoritarian type of a way. So, all right, let's get some clarifiers to close this out. Benevolent ministering beings of group number 2. What do they need to know about this lunar eclipse of September 2025 and how it's affected their lives? What's being highlighted for group number 2? What's being highlighted? Please clarify what's being highlighted for group number 2. Advice to close out this reading. Group number 2. Let's see. What's being oh, that one's all that glitters in reverse. That's that old saying, all that glitters isn't gold. So sometimes if you come across some fool's gold, it's not real gold, it's fool's gold. So some of you could have been tempted in the past with some promise of something. Promises of wealth and abundance, promises of, or not necessarily being rich, but just having better experiences, living in a nicer home, having better clothes, just nicer clothes. Some people, for some of you, you've had to go through poverty. And so there was some sort of promise that was made for many of you that you would have a more comfortable lifestyle, and something happened. For everyone, it's going to be different for everybody, but sometimes everything is just, it's not as great as it seems. And for some people, this message, the government employees are not as rich as you think they are. For other people, like I said, somebody promised you some things that never really manifested, and you kind of put your life on hold, or you didn't, I don't want to be too harsh, but you didn't get up and claim it for yourself. You avoided your awakening. You avoided having your awakening, which is your ticket to be able to achieve a life of, I mean, for some of you, it is opulence. For some of you, it is opulence and abundance, because what you're doing is going to be very vital, and there's a lot of responsibility associated with that. And so that does result in living better, living well, they're saying. Okay. What's hidden for group number 2? What's hidden? The Fates, Yang, and the Here and Now in reverse. Excuse me. Okay, for some of you, what's being hidden is some sort of masculine energy, masculine force. And this is a force. This is a force that is going to cause, for some it's saying a revolution. In some cases, it's causing a revolution in industry, in government, in society. And this is fated. This is something fated. The fates have a plan, and that's what's hidden. So the fates definitely have a plan for you, and that's what's hidden. But it is not where you currently are. Here and now is in the reverse. It's not where you currently are in life. That's not the plan. So that's something that's being hidden for you, but you'll soon be aware of that. Okay, what does group number 2 need to accept? Breathe. Breathe. Be at peace. Life does not have to be a struggle. It doesn't have to be as much of a struggle as it is. For some of you, you've endured pain and poverty and suffering as a result of certain structures. Church structures, societal structures, government structures, school structures. As I mentioned, for everyone it's different. It's whichever structure is most prominent or that you resonate with most is what they're talking about. But you've had to live, like, for example, for some of you with the Catholic Church, if this resonates with you, you may be aware, but with Catholic people, they think that life is about suffering, right? And we're meant to suffer, and we're meant to suffer because Jesus suffered. It's not. That's not true, okay? And you have a lot of, for those of you that resonates with, you could have a lot of Catholic guilt that you are supposed to be suffering like Jesus suffered, like you're supposed to endure the suffering, but that's not true. Life is meant to be beautiful. Life is meant to be beautiful. And so you can enjoy that. You can just be at peace and breathe in your existence as a human being in life. And you can create a life where you can do that. It's allowed. Someone needs to hear that. It's allowed for you to create a life where you can be at peace and you can breathe. You can finally breathe. Because some of you feel like you're just holding your breath. So for some of you, you're in a situation where you just feel like you're holding your breath all the time. You're like holding your breath, and you need to be in a situation, and it could be because of tension or worry or any number of things can put us in that type of energy where we're just like holding on, and we're just holding our breath, and we're just kind of waiting for the impact, right? And so it's okay to be in a place where you are safe and where you can just breathe and be at peace, and you don't have to worry. For others of you, you were told, I'm seeing for those of you, somebody here works in a school system or an agency or a school, and you were told that because of where you are, you don't deserve as much when it comes to government funding or when it comes to certain things. You guys don't get, because of where you are, and you could be in a southern state. For some of you, you could be resided in the southern states in the United States, that because of where you're located and the population, the demographic, the location, whatever the case is, you don't deserve to get new computers. You don't deserve to have technology. You don't deserve, I know in the school system where I live, well, I grew up in a big city, and then also I live in a small town. But even though it's a small town, the teachers have touchscreen boards. Like instead of a blackboard or a dry erase board, it's a giant computer monitor that's touchscreen, and they can draw on and they can do all that kind of stuff. It's so cool. They can project movies and documentaries and slides and then draw on it and annotate and all kinds of cool things. So, and they have the kids' schedule on there and all kinds of stuff. So even though it's a small region, they have technology. They've been blessed to be able to receive, have enough money to have technology for the kids in the rural area. But for some of you, you're dealing with the opposite, where they're like, sorry guys, you don't get that because of where you are. And that could also be not just in a school system, but for somebody, I'm seeing someone who works in a school system in a southern state. And for others of you, it's just in your job, it's your department. Oh, your department is getting cut. The funding is getting cut for your department because you guys are not as important. For others, it's for private sector, it could also be like inventory. You place an order for something and your order doesn't get filled. They have other customers that take priority and they will fill their orders first because they order more. And so you get left without your orders being filled. And so that big company, that big store, whatever it is, they're going to get all their inventory, but you're not going to get your inventory. So it has, for somebody that could make some sense. But at any rate, it's okay for you to be at peace and to breathe and to do, to step into a role or to do something that will enable you to finally live in that way. And then we have not for you. So we have the Empress here, but there is something in the situation that's just not for you. It's not meant for you to struggle. It's not meant for you to, this group here is not meant to struggle anymore. And avoiding having an awakening, avoiding embracing who you are as a person and your beliefs. For some of you, this is about embracing your beliefs. Avoiding doing that, avoiding standing up and saying, this is what I believe. For some of you, this is like let's say your husband is a Republican and you're like finally standing up and you're like, I'm a Democrat. But, not doing that has had you in this very vulnerable and depressed state. And you just need to step into your power, step into your role, accept who you are, accept your inner knowing. Because what's happening in your life is not meant for you to struggle. Being depressed is not for you. Let's see what else here. There was another impression. For some of you, what was it? It had to do with, I got another impression when I was talking about somebody's, their husband was a Republican and they're finally standing up and being like, I'm a Democrat. And then I got another scenario. Well, anyways, you guys get the picture, hopefully. Thank you all so much for choosing me to do this reading for you. If you would like to look into more detail and depth about the situation in your life, check out my private readings in the link in the description box. Otherwise, feel free to check out my other readings on my channel. Thank you. Have a great day. Group number 3. You selected Rutile Quartz. This says, I easily and clearly visualize what I wish to manifest. It amplifies energy. It's a psychic antenna and it's good for manifestation. It represents and can work with all of these chakras. And it is associated with the zodiac signs of Leo, Taurus, and Gemini. So if you have any of those in prominent placements in your chart, this reading could be for you. Let's find out. Okay. Benevolent ministering beings of group number 3, please assist me with conducting this reading for them. What does group number 3 need to know about the lunar eclipse of September 2025 and how it affects their lives? For their highest and greatest good, please. What do they need to know? Okay. Top of the deck. 9 of Swords. Bottom of the deck, what's hidden? 5 of Wands. And cut the deck. What does group number 3 need to accept? Page of Wands. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay, let's pick some clarifiers. Benevolent ministering beings of group number 3, what is highlighted for them? 7 of Pentacles. Okay. What is hidden for group number 3? What's hidden? Group number 3. Individuals in group number 3. Wheel of Life. And what does group number 3 need to accept? Ooh. Okay. That was kind of weird. I'm going to show you guys these cards. But then I'm going to... So we got 8 of Swords. Knight of Cups. Okay. Some of you could feel stuck at this time. You could feel trapped in a situation. Or that you need to accept that you're trapped in your own mind, that your limitations are just made up, they're not real, and there is a proposal of some kind. But let's see, because that was kind of weird. My hand kind of hit it, so let me just see. What does group number 3 need to accept, please, for their highest and greatest good? Benevolent ministering beings. Awakening. This may resonate. You guys may need to check out group number 2, because the awakening was very, very prominent in group number 2. So if this awakening resonates with you, check out group number 2. Bottom of the deck, you have the Mentor, number 5, which is the Hierophant in the traditional tarot deck. Okay. All right. Actually, I'm going to pull those ones in a minute. So let's take a look here. For some of you in this group, you've been very focused on what you've been doing to plant seeds of growth for your future. And this has to do with your future abundance, just so you can have things in your life like food, clothing, a place to live, and then hopefully also get something more, something that you can grow with, something that you can have to, have a savings and have something to pass down to your kids, or just that's going to cover everything so you're not leaving your kids with debt. You've been really focused on planting your seeds, but it's still causing you, what's being highlighted is that you're still having a lot of anxiety and worry and hurt, and even for some of you it's like mental anguish and pain and suffering over whether or not you're going to be able to have enough, and whether or not, for some of you it's having enough, for others of you it's being successful if what you're doing is paying off. So for some of you it's about having enough, and for others of you, it's about whether or not what you're doing is actually going to pay off. So it's like you're spending all this time and energy doing something, and you're like, is this actually going to work? Are these seeds actually going to grow? I'm planting all of these seeds. Are any of them going to sprout? And they are saying unforeseen circumstances. So for some of you, unforeseen circumstances have caused this 9 of Swords. So you have been, like I do see with this, some of them, it's growing. You've got sprouts here. Things are growing. It's starting to come to fruition, starting to see progress. But there have been some unforeseen circumstances that have put pressure on your situation and caused you to be in this energy. So feeling very wounded, and worried. Okay, what is hidden for you? So for some of you, there's a fight. For some of you, there's a battle. that hasn't happened yet. And this is fated. This is a fated situation. As you can see, though, it's a pillow fight in this particular deck, so it's not harmful to your person or to your body or anything like that, but it is some kind of a battle. For some of you, it's a spiritual battle. For others of you, it's like having to really hash it out, really having to hash out a situation and kind of like lay it all out there, you know, item by item, and go through it. And you know, the people that you're going to be talking to are just going to be pushing back, and you have to, you know, you have to stand your ground, and you have to be firm, and you have to push. You know, it's like two agendas pushing and battling, and, you know, that type of thing. And for others of you, it's competition. It's competition. It's which can be a good thing, because 5 of Wands leads to a 6 of Wands. So whenever there's a competition, somebody more than likely is going to win the competition. And there's an opportunity for you to be the winner. So for some of you, I am seeing that. So like if there's, and this could be different for everybody. For some of you, you have a business, let's say, and there's other competitors in town that you guys are like having a battle in a way with your products and your presentation and how you do things. And you're kind of like competing for, of course, the public favor, public opinion. And someone's going to come out on top. Someone's going to be number one. And the opportunity for you to be number one is pretty high. But this situation is fated. This battle itself, whatever this is, this competition, it's a fated event. It has to do with our free will, and we have certain decisions that we make in life. Part of the gift of living on Earth is that there's divine will, but we have also been gifted with free will, and so we can make our own choices. And sometimes when we make those choices, there are positive outcomes, and sometimes there are negative outcomes. So it's just the result of choices and actions that have been made by yourself and other people in your environment. So, for others of you, I'm seeing a legal situation, for example. For others of you, it's a legal situation. You have a court case or a legal dispute with somebody, and you know, like you're going to battle, like you're going to legal battle. And again, you're not going to get killed over it or anything, but it's going to be a pain. As I mentioned, going back and forth, line by line. Others of you, it's contractual stuff at work. It's like coming up with negotiating agreements. Even though the 8 of Wands didn't come out, it's still some kind of a battle. It's like where there was a disagreement, and you have to have a treaty in a way. And you have to come up with policies and procedures. And I mean, it could even be for some of you who work in this type of environment where it's like departments, you know, there's like something going on with the departments, and the departments are clashing because, well, we need this space at this time, and well, we need it then too. And, you know, so you have to kind of change your policies, and you guys have to negotiate almost, or like hash out who's going to do what at what time in order to be able to have access to the tools and the space that you need and still keep everything running smoothly. So for some of you, that's a situation. So however it pertains to you, it's different for everyone. Check the link in the description if you would like to book a private reading to get more in-depth, in detail information about how this affects you. But moving on, what you need to accept is we have the Page of Wands here and this Awakening card. So this Page of Wands, for some of you, this is you. For some of you, this is you entering into a new stage of, someone saying warrior princess. Someone's guide is saying, like, for some of you, it's harnessing your warrior princess energy. And if that has to do with, you know, wearing She-Ra socks and He-Man undies, then if that's going to give you the confidence you need in order to step into this fiery, passionate energy. Because for many of you, being in this fiery, passionate energy is very much out of your comfort zone. But you're starting from scratch. You're willing to start from the bottom and figure it out. For others of you, this could be a young person in your life who you are trying to educate and mentor and teach. Because we have the mentor card here at the bottom of the deck. And so for some of you, you are mentoring this person, this page of fire, and this is a matter of the future generation. For many of you, you're a teacher and it's the future generation, it's the children. You know, what you're doing is for the kids. For others of you, this is you, and you feel almost like a kid again, or like you're out of your element in some way, and that you're entering into something where you do have to harness your fiery, passionate energy and kind of enter into battle. Some of you could be going into the military. But there is an awakening here that you need to finally accept this awakening. And it's different for everybody. Everyone is having different types of awakenings. It's just things that you absolutely cannot ignore anymore. And it's a matter of finally accepting those things as they are and doing what you can in order to change them in some ways. For some of you, it's about changing something with this battle that's happening. But it seems like it's definitely changing things for the better. Whatever it is, it's changing for the better. And then we have here the mentor. For many of you, you will have a mentor. There will be a guide to help you through this process. For many of you, this person could be a government official, or they could work with some sort of government agency or a nonprofit agency. Others of you, this mentor could be a religious figure, a member of the clergy, that can have advice or just support in some kind of way, mentorship. For others of you, it's actually your awakening has something to do with religion and religious beliefs, and it could be that you're actually, I'm getting the Vatican, and you could actually be starting to go on like a religious tour and study, religious study tour studies. And I'm seeing someone traveling to religious sites around the world and having a group and a mentor of the group that's teaching this religious history. So for some of you, that's a situation, and it could be the spiritual battle. That has to do with the spiritual battle for some of you. If that resonates with you, I see that very clearly. But yeah, others of you, it's like an attorney or somebody, a legal advocate is what's coming through. So it just depends. Again, everybody's situation is different. If you would like a custom reading to your unique situation, check the link in the description for my readings. And let's get the clarifiers that are going to wrap this reading up. What does group 3, what's being highlighted for group 3? Yang energy. Again, if this awakening resonated with you, check group number 2. We have Yang here, which is masculine energy. It is a force. It's a divine force. This is something that's being highlighted, and it's something that is so forceful that's coming in to force a situation. It's like you can't ignore it anymore. For some of you, it's these unforeseen circumstances. Many of you, it's unforeseen. These are the unforeseen circumstances. and they're showing themselves to be coming from a more masculine energy. So many of you, this may be connected to, let's see, how can I explain this? Show me a scenario, Spirit. Show me a scenario. It's like women's issues and men, like male-dominated society coming in and just forcing the way and not considering women's issues. For some of you, you could be working in an industry or field like in medicine or something, medicine, where I know there's been a lot of legislation recently, changes in legislation that have affected women's reproductive health. And so that's kind of like a scenario where masculine patriarchal forces come in and force things to be the way, to be a certain way. And it's causing worry, pain, suffering, and what you've been working on. It's affecting what you've been working on in some way for some of you. For many of you, whatever this is, this masculine force that's coming in is affecting what you've been doing in some way. What's hidden for group number 3? What is hidden for group number 3? Happy, happy in the reverse. So group number 2 got this message that they were not meant to suffer, that they're at a stage in their life where they're not meant to suffer and to worry and to have pain, and to try. It's okay to try to be happy. Life, what is it? Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. For Americans, that's one of our mantras. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I can't remember which of our founding fathers made that quote, but there's something, it came out in the reverse. So this is being unhappy. Okay, for some of you, I'm seeing, they're saying developmental abilities. For some of you, this is something connected to a disabled child. And it's like working with a group or an agency, a mentor who's going to help you develop legislation or some kind of regulations or something, rules, for like autistic kids or developmentally disabled children, things like that. And it's because you're doing this because you are seeing how they're being affected by these changes, by this yang energy that's coming in and forcing things to be a certain way. You're seeing the unhappiness, you're seeing the pain and suffering. It's causing you worry and pain and suffering, and now you're seeing it affecting other people too. What to accept? What does group 3 need to accept? Breathe in the reverse. So this card came out in the upright in group number 2. In the reverse, it's not being able to breathe, feeling very stifled, feeling suffocated. So you need to accept that something, is making you feel stifled and suffocated. There is something stifling and suffocating. And then we have serendipity in the reverse. Okay. Serendipity is usually luck and good fortune. They call it serendipitous events, where it's like almost like miracles kind of happen. Sometimes I think there's like a little fairy in here and it's luck. So that's usually attributed with the fae and elemental spirits, bestowing gifts and luck and positive miracles on your life. But in the reverse, it's like you're looking for miracles. For some of you, you're looking for miracles. You want proof. Okay. This is just a message for those of you who are going on a journey, a religious, spiritual journey. Some of you, as I mentioned, you're taking a tour of religious sites. You're going on a religious tour, religious history tour, some kind of thing like that. Others of you could be going on like a vision quest, if you will, on that type of a spiritual journey. Others of you are just going on your own personal spiritual path, spiritual development. And by you having this awakening, you know that there's going to be people in your life that you're going to have to go up against, right? In order to make yourself happy, in order to be able to achieve happiness in your life. You know, there's some kind of thing you have to hash out. But this is speaking of wanting miracles in your life, wanting to see the miracles happen, wanting to have the good fortune and the happiness and serendipitous events happen, all of the positive things happen that had been happening. It's like some of you, you're recognizing that there's been an ending of this type of good luck, good fortune, and so you're trying to bring that back into your life. So the awakening is essential. Go, and if this resonates with you, the awakening and breathing and feeling stifled, and the yang energy, if there's a masculine force that's just coming in and being very forceful and forcing things, forcing suffering on your life in some way, check out group number 2. So, but other than that, thank you all so very much for watching. If this reading didn't resonate with you, feel free to check out my other readings. Or if it did and you'd like some more information, check the link in the description for my my private reading availabilities. Thank you so much and have a blessed day. Bye-bye.